Hey everyone, Mtashed here, and I have a very cool guest. I have Datto. The Datto.
Hello.
Say hello right now.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Thanks for having me on.
Okay, I'm cutting you off because I just can't even focus right now. Senpai is in the building. So today, this is going to be kind of the first episode of hopefully a few. I'm going to try and get a few other YouTubers and streamers on, see if I can get True Vanguard, Hovey, Manigator, some people that play PvP, play PvE, and, really care about this game, essentially. And today I wanted to talk to Datto, because I know he has feelings about this as well, on revives in Trials, revives in Destiny period, and kind of what your thoughts are on it. How do you feel about revives and the current situation that they're in, or the current state?
I think for the most part, they're fine. In PvE, they're pretty okay. I think all the rules that are set up for reviving and all that stuff are totally okay. Normal mode rating has the 30-second lockout before you can res. Nightfall also has that. And otherwise, I think the rules are generally fair. In PvP, specifically Trials, is where it gets a little bit kind of crazy. Especially with the very, very frequent use of all the fast res exotics. When we first came into Taken King, those were like the reigning champion, or when we first, started seeing Trials again, those were like the reigning champions. Like, that was the thing to pick. And it was basically for all classes too, because Titans lost the Armamentarium, and so probably the next best thing was Crest. Warlocks don't have amazing stuff, which makes Light Beyond Nemesis pretty simple to use, and Hunters have some good things, but, it's not the worst thing in the world to use it.
Right.
So when things are getting a little dicey, it can make playing Trials very obnoxious, because it almost is counterintuitive to kill people because they can just be used for shields and immunity periods, and it makes it frustrating.
I agree.
At some time.
And that's the thing, is like, you're almost punished for killing someone, because if you don't have a way to watch that body, you now have opportunities where they're gonna throw a grenade at you, get a res quick, and now you're playing from behind because you've got two people rushing with a shield, and it's unfair. I really hate it to an extent. You can spam revive and win games.
Yeah. It's a little too quick, and it can very, very easily turn the tide of a game. Even 1v3. Not to say that if you're in a 1v3 situation and you manage to revive your teammates, that's all like, oh, it's just revives or BS or whatever. There's definitely an element of skill to that, but in most engagements where you can just spam revives back and forth with some good timing, it gets pretty obnoxious.
Mm-hmm. The other thing, too, is if you are dealing with them effectively and you're sniping them from a distance, you're landing your shots, you're punished for it, because if they continue to revive, you now, for the next round, or 2 rounds from now, have no ammo, and you can't deal with them any further, and it kind of sucks that you have to spend 12 shots of a sniper in 1 round just to win it.
Yeah, on the other hand, I'll play devil's advocate. You are gaining significant super energy from all of those kills if you do manage to keep people pinned and they just keep rezzing alive. And then devil's advocate to that devil's advocate, if the other team is wearing a helmet that gives them super energy on revives, then it's just like
they're getting advantage.
Then it's just, they're getting the advantage as well.
With all that being said, if you were to make some changes to revives in PvP, what would you do?
I think the baseline revive is pretty okay. If they wanted to extend the time maybe by like another half a second or something really, really small, I'd probably be okay with that. The main thing I'd like to see with the fast res is to put it on diminishing returns. So basically, the first time you revive someone with the fast res, it would work totally as intended. But then you can do it 2 ways. You could either make it so each revive after that takes a little bit longer, or you have it just basically on a cooldown where you revive very, very quickly. Then the next 15 seconds you can't revive quickly, and
so
then
you
once that
double up in a
right.
2 in a row kind of thing. Okay.
Exactly. You couldn't just like chain them very, very, very quickly. So you would have to use that 1 res, and then you'd be on cooldown for a short time, and then you could res someone fast again, or you can have it be incrementally slower and slower until you get to kind of the standard res rate, and then that would reset every single round. So once a new round starts, you're back to normal, and you have the fast res.
That'd be cool. Actually, yeah, that's a good idea. Because then, if someone does manage to blink past you, gets to 2 bodies, he's not going to pump 2 guys up into the field that you now have to deal with. It would definitely slow him down a little bit. What about the shields? Do you think the shields are too strong?
I want to say yes and no, almost. It kind of varies from situation to situation, because if you're doing res sniping, then the shield actually does not matter at all. But if you're kind of in the thick of it, then they can be very, very beneficial to the team that's getting reses. So it's kind of a tough call to make, because within a few seconds those shields are gone, whether you're shooting them off or just there's been idle activity and it just falls off. So I'm not sure if I would do anything with the shields. That's a good question.
Right. I guess my only issue with it is if someone does run up and he is going for the res, and there is the seconds of immunity, that's pretty strong right there, because I cannot kill you now. I'm not even allowed to shoot at you, and I have to essentially wait for a moment where I can. And now, in the whole, let's say 1.5 to 2 seconds of you rezzing this guy, a lot of my damage doesn't even matter. It doesn't even count. I can throw a grenade directly on you guys, and if I don't time it perfectly for when those shields drop or when you're unimmune, it completely counters my attempts at countering your res. So I essentially have to let you res to then counter it. There's no preemptive way to stop you other than kill you first or kill you after it's already done. And I wish there wasn't that in-between limbo. If I threw a lightning grenade in the middle of you guys when you're rezzing, I deserve to get a couple kills. It should be shut down. The round is over. I shouldn't have to see immune. The guys run out of there and they survive it. That's my only argument for it. It's really disheartening to see that.
It is pretty obnoxious. I get that there's a back and forth where it's like, oh, if you let the other team get too close to the bodies and let you res them, there's a penalty for that, and all the back and forth. But the fast resing allows too much freedom in that regard. Too much of just not even having to care. You can do drive-by resing, like you don't even have to stop to res.
Yeah,
with
you
the fast
can sprint through it.
That's probably the biggest thing I have a problem with, is just you can just run right through it. You don't even have to stop. There's no conscious decision that you have to make. There's no risk that you have to take in order to get that res off. You can just sprint right by, or even slide right by and get that res going.
Right.
So if there was more of a risk-reward kind of thing for that, then I think that would be a little bit better. But it's a tough thing to balance to get it exactly right.
Absolutely. Do you think this is a major problem for PvP, or it's just something that would be a quality of life change down the road?
I'm not like a super pro PvP player, so from my perspective, it's not the most glaring issue that Destiny PvP has or anything like that. I don't think it's a huge problem. Would it be nice for it to be addressed and maybe made a little more balanced? Sure. But from my perspective, which is definitely more on the slightly casual end with regards to PvP, it's not a huge problem.
Right. And that makes sense, absolutely. And, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Like, what are your thoughts on it? You come from a different background of how you play Destiny, and, everyone has to deal with revives and PvP. But some people don't see it as a massive issue. Even some of my friends that, play Trials every other week, and they're like, meh, it's just in the game. Who cares? They don't
Right.
see it as a massive issue. And, others hate it. They will go on rants for days every time they play Trials when they see someone res. So
yeah,
it's cool to get someone else's perspective. I'd really like to get all the people in chat, or in the comment section. If you guys have your opinions, I'd like to see what you guys think, and what your arguments are for and against revives. To be honest with you.
Yeah. It's right now I'm definitely on the side of like, yeah, it's kind of annoying, but it's part of the game for now, so I'll figure out how to deal with it. But I'm definitely open to hearing opinions, because that's something I'm kind of, well, on the one hand this, but on the other hand that, so that this, so I'm pretty open.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for coming, Datto. I appreciate you giving your input and spending the time chatting with me today.
No problemo, man.
Where can we find you online?
You can find me over at youtube.com/Dattodoesdestiny.
What about
Mainly there.
What about Twitter? Twitch?
Twitter? Twitter. Twitter
Yeah, whatever.
Twitter
I'll
at
post your links.
Dattodoesdestiny.
Yeah, I'll post your links if you guys want to check out Datto's stuff. He does a lot of nitty-gritty. Like, he's got some great stats on weapons. He has some raid stuff. He's got a lot more PvE than I do.
Yep.
And honestly, one of the biggest Destiny YouTubers there are. And a very knowledgeable, friendly dude. So check him out.
Thank you.
Hey, no problem. Just going to flirt with you at the end of the video here. Might as well. All right, thank you very much, and I'll see you soon, guys. By the way, let me know if you like this video so I can do more. If you don't like it, I won't. Make sense? Good. See you later.